Good morning. It is Friday, January 13th, 2024, and this is the Wall Street Weekly Wrap Up with your host, John Newquist. And it was a busy week of news. A lot of things happened, and the war in Ukraine, the Houthis got attacked by the U.S. and UK. A lot of drama internationally. And I cleaned up our graphics, so it's much nicer now. Boeing, boy, they blew out the door on the Alaska Airline. Boeing, and United are kind of like stopping flights. Going to do these inspections. Sometimes it's loose bolts. FAA's involved in it. Look at the Boeing stock. It's a waterfall. Holy smokes. You know, you got all these people out there buying in it, and it's dropping now. You know, the ceiling is right here. So this is a good point to buy if you're going to buy. You know, you want to get in there and do it. I doubt you're going to get it down at the low before, at the 180 level. But, a lot of people are watching the 205 and the 190 level, and that's the numbers to watch. So not a good week for Boeing. But, my son says, it's only Airbus and Boeing for your choices. So they'll get through it. NVDA, a new high. Boom. A new high. They're going to do work at the biotech conference. They presented at the JP Morgan conference. And guess what? Amgen and other companies are going to use the NVIDIA chips to sit there and run AI models on their research. Cut the time by 1,000%. I mean, it's just incredible. Where is NVIDIA not at? And so it's a new high. And again, it broke out of this sideways channel. And, you had a chance to probably buy it back in November when it got a little lower, but we don't know. Again, we're holding it. It's been holding for us for over 10 years. Indicators. The 2-year note. If you take a look at it, it's kind of coming up because a lot of people didn't like the inflation number, which we'll cover a little bit later. Gas with the war is surprisingly low, $72. A lot of people were thinking, hey, it's supposed to be 85 with Yemen being bombed by the UK and the USA on the ships, and not good. The winter chill. For those that follow football, Kansas City Chiefs going to be playing at -30 below wind chill. Buffalo, they don't even know if they're going to be able to see the game. It's got so much snow and cold. But everybody's watching this. This is going to go up higher. This could go over $3 easily. Because this cold wave is going to be not today, it's going to be all next week for Midwest, Texas, East Coast, everybody. Gold's still hanging above 2,000, which is good. Copper's still below 4, so the economy is not so good. The averages, again, the S&P is finally positive for the year, coming back to record levels. Look at this chart for the S&P. What a wedge. And, like I said, if it breaks out, you want to buy. If it drops, you're going to have to wait a while. A lot of people are watching it. The big techs carried up, and the Nasdaq's almost positive for the year. And of course, the small caps, which we bought the fund for, not so good. JP Morgan put out revenues Friday. They are the first of the big companies to put out. I remember it used to be Alcoa, but now it's JP Morgan. And revenues rose 11%. This is the largest bank in the country, and 11% growth is pretty amazing. So they also hit another 52-week high. Bing, bing, bing. It is a good day. They're doing well. They're going to get involved in the Bitcoin ETF, even though I swear Jamie Dimon for years has said this thing should have never been out and never buy it, and now they're going to be part of an ETF. Go figure. And Bitcoin got up to 47,000. Some, peaks up there. It dropped down to 42,000 today. It's called buy on the news, sell when it happens, and that's exactly what happened. So this is sell-off. The channel is long. This is a nice uptrend. It's been at the top of the channel. If it gets down here, when are you going to buy it? Well, if you get a chance to get it down to 30, yeah, that's not a bad entry point. We'll see. It might go sideways, but it's an upward movement. Only thing we got is BT, which is didn't go up as much as Bitcoin did. Eli Lilly, the CEO, is at the healthcare conference, and Zepbound 25,000 new prescriptions in December. So they're going to have another thing. You can see it's right at the top of the channel. Lilly is going to probably be the first trillion-dollar drug company. We're around about 600 million or so, 500 million. I mean, you know, the weight loss drugs are going in there. Our weight loss drug is going to be Novo Nordisk, you know, because we know it works. WP Gary, one of our REITs, you know, we have 2 of them in there. Again, we're going to go in there. It's a nice comeback from the lows of November. They're going to invest, you know, a lot more money in different buildings, and it's not going to be office space because that's kind of like the dead money right now, and people don't want to be in certain cities. So, but I like it because management's good. You know, again, with the REITs, you're going to take the punishment, but if you want to be diversified in all 11 sectors, you have to kind of hold your nose and pick a couple REITs that you think you're good managed REITs and just go with it. Because when it goes up, like over here, you get a false little run and then it comes back down and people give up and then it just does a run up here. So you can't time the market. You know, just try to buy good stocks, good companies, and just, you know, if it does well, we'll do better than the sector. Lyondell got a downgrade. Target's 105. So it's not at its target, so that's not a bad thing. You know, if it's going to go up 10%, we'll take it for the year. It pays a dividend. Again, it's a nice, slow upward channel. This is not a bad thing. So, you know, I did get a downgrade, but I think, like I said, if the economy picks up, they'll do well. The Nikkei, I remember in 1990, this was the ski slope down. I mean, it just looked like if you go in here from 1990 to, you know, around about 94 or so, it was just like nonstop down. You know, and you got to remember, Japan and Toyota and Sony were like the darlings of Wall Street and, you know, doing great. And then, you know, like I said, it based for a few years and it's coming up, and now it's, you know, think about it. Wow. 33 years to get your money back if you bought at the high. That's a long time to be even, you know. So we always tell people, if the trend is down, maybe not get into it. You know, take a loss and get down, because it always can get worse. Home builders, we watch because, you know, there is a shortage of affordable housing, and KB Homes is one of the, you know, Pulte and all these other ones are, you know, out there, ones that we watch. Good earnings, of course, because they're going to make money, but the revenues fell. That means what we're seeing is they're not selling as much total volume, which is what it's telling us. The prices are high, and the selling price dropped from 500,000 to 487,000. So that's what we're seeing, is that people want more affordable homes. The move is going to be to build some more apartment buildings, so people who can't afford a home can at least afford an apartment, and office conversions to apartments are starting to come up a little bit more because the office buildings are cheap. There's a price, and it's not cheap to put a office building like 20 stories and make it in a you know, place of studio apartments, because all these bathrooms would have to be put in, and that's why it's going to cost a fortune. One of our biotechs in our stock is APGE, and one of the top picks for Wedbush. They have a $40 price target, so, you know, it's got a little bit more to get there. You can see biotechs took the punishment last year. Now it's kind of gone up. It went at the JP Morgan conference last week and did well. But, you know, I just watch the different stocks, and one of the things is that they got the injectable antibody to disrupt the TH cell, which makes IL-13. The idea is it's a strategy to contain a condition that, you know, you might have asthma or something else, and it's going to reduce the inflammation by getting the cells right where you need it. And not a bad stock. We're going to watch it again. You know, we got 10 biotechs. We will sell probably the worst one if it's negative in the end of the month, or 2. We'll see. And the CPI, of course, overall 3.4. I really don't think so, because, you know, I mean, I grew up with inflation, you know, in the 70s. So, you know, when we were 5, 6, 7, 8, 10%, you know, 3.4 is not so bad. But what was high? Transportation, which is odd because fuel costs were generally lower. Shelter, of course, I expect. Food is, you know, if you go to the supermarket, you know you're paying more than last year. And then other things like used cars are coming down. So a lot of people didn't like it. The market kind of dropped on the news. And but, you know, I look at the whole term. We're not going to probably get 2%, but, you know, 3 is good. I mean, I don't think that's that bad. We didn't sell or buy anything. Probably not going to do it till the end of, you know, January, unless something completely goes crazy. The heat map for the week Are the bright greens? Well, look at this. We got Microsoft, NVDA, Google, and Amazon. Our dog is Tesla. But, I mean, you talk about the large caps. All our energy stocks, you would think this war out there with the Houthis and everybody else would be driving the price up, but guess what? It didn't do it. United Health did great earnings and did bad for the week. So I look at a lot of these things. Not a bad week. Tech is surprising everybody. Everybody's not expecting it, but that's why you're diversified. All right, we'll see you next week. Have a good week. Stay warm. I know it's going to be cold this week.